Are you in the office?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I am down the hall.
Nice.
Oh, we are live. Okay.
And for anyone who's watching, there is a link on the Google Plus page that you can click to join us in the Hangout itself.
Oh, Emily and Ashoka
Hey.
Korea. Hello. Yes, so like Elizabeth said, if anybody's watching and you aren't joined into the Google Hangout, look at the event page, and you'll find a link to join. How are you guys? Emily and Honey? Is that the two people joining us? Hello, good to see your face, Honey. We've talked on the phone before. I'm Sega.
How did your first call go, Sega?
It was good, I would say. Elizabeth can chime in as well. So Elizabeth will be presenting alongside me. She's interning with the communications team. And we had Spain, we had Kenya, East Africa office, we had
Felix,
Canada.
We had Felix as well.
Oh yeah, Felix from the Germany office. So the Europe director for the Germany office, for the Europe Diamond, actually.
How fun coordinating all these times with people.
Yeah, no, it's great to like connect with everybody across the world. Like Honey's joining us from all the way from Korea. What time is it, Honey? What time is it over in Korea right now?
It's 10:30 p.m.
Oh my gosh.
I'm calling in from Chicago, so it's only 7:30 in the morning here.
So we have Alexis from Youth Venture, we have Honey from Korea, Ashoka Korea, Emily from Ashoka U, Louise, Alexander. Hi, Alexander, where are you joining us from? Hello there. Louise Alexander, can you hear me? Hi.
Hi.
Where are you joining us from?
I'm from France. From Belgium,
great.
sorry.
Oh, Belgium. Okay. Cool. Well, maybe we could do a really quick roundtable first of hello, my name is from this country, just so that we can get to know who all is on this call. I'm Sega. I'm in the global office, Washington, D.C., alongside Elizabeth Tompkins, who's also on the call with the Ashoka logo, who's joining from Chicago. And we're kind of leading this call today about this new social media system. I'll be doing a bit of an intro, and then Elizabeth will lead the rest of the presentation.
Hello, everybody. So, would you like to do a quick intro? Yeah, where you are from and what Ashoka office you represent? That would be really great.
Great. I can go ahead and start. My name is Emily Lamb, and I am in DC, and I work specifically with Ashoka U, and I work on our the Ashoka U Exchange, which is our annual gathering to bring together leaders in higher ed who work at social innovation programs at universities and colleges around the world. But I also work with our communications and our social media teams. So.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, good, good, good. I'm Tori Malatia. I'm here in DC. I work with the U.S. team, and I'm just learning all this stuff, so I'd be very interested in what you're doing.
Great. Thanks so much for joining us, Tori.
Sure.
Yeah.
My name is Alexis Duclos. I work on the youth venture team in the DC office. I do operations, so some HR, finance, sort of back-end stuff, and I'm also spearheading our new storytelling effort. So hopefully this will tie in really well to some of the stuff Youth Venture is doing here.
Fantastic.
Who else wants to introduce? Honey, do you mind going next?
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, could you speak up just a little bit?
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. So I'm Honey from Ashoka Korea. We launched last year. So I'm working for all the communications, including online and also offline, also communication materials.
Great. Thanks, Honey. Louise Alexander, do you mind going next?
I'm sorry, but I hear several voices at the same time. Is it normal?
Oh, do you hear an echo?
It's not an echo. It's as if several persons were talking at the same time.
Oh, I don't hear that. Does anybody else hear it?
It might be. It's possible it's on your end. I'm not really hearing an echo or anything over here.
Yeah.
Louis, it's the voices in your head.
Do you mind introducing yourself, Louise? Hopefully we can, maybe what we could do is everybody mute unless they're speaking. So I'll go ahead and start by doing that. So if you don't mind introducing yourself, Louise Alexander. Or Louis Alexandre. I don't know how to say your name. Are you still there?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, if you could introduce yourself.
Because I hear somebody else talking actually. So yes, but my name is Anne. I'm from the Belgium office.
Okay, great.
Fantastic.
Awesome. And then I think we have Sachin.
Mm-hmm.
Are you there, Sachin?
Yes, absolutely. Hi, everyone. So my name is Sachin. I work with Changemakers in the DC office, and really keen to figure out what is the social media thing that people have been talking about for the last 10 years.
That's a good question. So I think we have everybody introduced. Mira was jumping in and out from the India office. I don't know if her connection is a little bit spotty. So what Elizabeth and I will do is I will kind of start with a very short introduction, and Elizabeth will walk us through the system that we have put together. I'll give a bit of a, why are we doing this, why now, and then hopefully we'll open it up to a conversation with all of you guys, how we think this might be useful and how it might be useful for you. So let me just share the form on our screen so that we have it as we talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
And you might have seen a link. Is the screen being shared with you guys?
If you click on Vega's face on her screen, you should be able to everyone. There we go.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the screen. That's the form specifically, and what really kind of inspired this is that for many years, Ashoka Social Media Present has positioned us as leaders in social media, particularly for the niche field of social change and for around social entrepreneurship. In 2013, our Clout score had us as the top social media. Or the organization, the NGO with the #1 social media, and Clout is the some people kind of dispute what its role is, but it's currently the top social media engagement measurement and ranking website, and our engagement has stayed constant since. Testament to our innovative approaches across our various social media channels, but at the same time, with these kind of accolades, in our midst, and with the public kind of looking to us as thought leaders to follow on social media, we tend to struggle internally in terms of capacity and resources to be able to present consistent type of content that would be coming from our various channels. So our level of growing engagement from the online community, particularly for the global offices that have consistent support and consistent content, along with some of our other channels that also have that, like on Changemakers or some of our country or program offices that really put a lot into their social media strategies. We see that people are really looking for our messages. They're wanting for more of it, and it really does resonate. Some of our engagements work more effectively than some of our other ones, but at the same time, to help build up capacity across our organization and to be able to have a more streamlined system for sharing content and for being able to share opportunities, we thought that it would be good to have a system of putting in requests for social media. And this is going back to really also not only around us being able to add value and content to our audience, but also being able to add value to our fellows and to our partners, specifically around our relationship building that we're doing for our strategic partners. So ideally, this content sharing mechanism, along with our request approach, would allow us to be a little bit more focused on strategic wins and goals in terms of messages around everyone a Changemaker and the framework change message, but also specifically around adding value to our relationship building efforts through our global channel. We're hoping also that this system can make your lives easier, particularly those of you working in communications, to be able to find materials and to be able to understand how other country offices or program offices are going about their content strategies. And also maybe hopefully a tool for you to engage your team to be a little bit more active with bringing the offline activities and relationship building that's happening into an online system where you can amplify it and support it. So that's the bit of intro that I have. Elizabeth will go a little bit more into this. Elizabeth is an intern working with the Global Communications and Media staff and a team, and she's been really fantastic at helping put this together. So I'll turn it over to her, and I'll be managing the screen sharing as she steps us through our work.
All right, thanks so much, Sega. So everything begins with a simple form, which hopefully you can all see now on your screen. This is the social media request form, and this is going to be made available to any Ashoka team that wishes to use it to kind of amplify their social media. Oh, Sega, it disappeared for a second. Oh, there we go. So as you can see, the first question that it asks is on which Ashoka team social media stream do you want this to appear? And we currently have 3 teams available, but hopefully by the end of this call you'll be really interested in incorporating your team as well into our system. So as soon as you have somebody that's on your office or team that's willing to manage the back end on this post request, then we can also add your team up here. So we currently have Ashoka Global, Changemakers, and Ashoka Spain. So it's quite straightforward. It's only 2 pages long. It's simply you go through and you clarify the date for whatever post it is that you're putting together, the language. So we also have like Spanish and French available at the moment, but we can add more to that as other teams around the world join onto this system. There's an expiration bar, which is really important because we want to make sure that once posts are irrelevant, they can get moved to an archive. We also have a frequency point so that you can propose posts that are both like a one-time thing and also a very regular, like things that need to be kind of posted regularly, like maybe for an upcoming event or something like this. And this is not just for Twitter. This is for any social media platform. We've got currently Facebook, LinkedIn, and Google Plus available on here in addition to Twitter. So then once you kind of get through those just logistical things, we actually have text box here which do expand and in which you can put the post itself. So for tweets, obviously, you want to limit it to 140 characters, and you want to also shorten any hyperlinks that you have using Bitly so that they're obviously shorter and also trackable. So you can do obviously in posts, but we also offer the option to give us variations on the text of your posts. It's a really good strategy to mix up exactly how you're conveying this message, you know, especially with posts that need to be repeated over the course of a couple of weeks. It's great to have a variation or two on the text. So once that's done, and that's probably the most time-consuming part of the form, you can also add images. We've got 2 upload buttons here. There's a text box where you can put in any links that you included in your post above, and then also a space to add whatever relevant hashtags and Twitter accounts you have that are relevant to this topic. Thanks, Sega. So then that's the first page, and then if you click next, it takes you here, which is just all of the information that we need about who you are and who you are requesting this post for. So the first who is the person that this is being submitted for. So on whose behalf are you writing this post? And you can put a team or maybe a third party, maybe an Ashoka fellow, whoever's post this is. And then the requester is you. So just as you are submitting this form, we want to know who the form was submitted by. So if you could just put your name and email, that would be great. And then the reason.
Just to
go ahead.
just to add to the who field, it's really important for us to also have that information in context of understanding what does our social media cater to? What partner and fellow and staff are we actually adding value to in context of the relationship building strategy that our organization is taking as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. And then so at that point, if the why isn't covered here in the options that we have, a fundraising event, recruitment, an online or offline event, etc., you can fill it in the other box below where it says survey. And then the final thing is just any extra notes, anything else that you want us to know. And we require you to fill out this final box because we have this question for you. Can social media managers alter the text of the message, or is there anything else that they need to know? So if that is all right, you need to put yes, it's okay, you can change the text of these messages. And if not, then you need to specify that. And then once that is all filled in, you just hit submit, and it goes to our wonderful backend, which is in the form of a Google spreadsheet. So do you guys have any questions about the form itself? It should honestly, we've designed it so that it should only take a couple of minutes. The most time-consuming part is obviously just drafting the text of your post. So I would love to hear you guys' reactions to it. Silence.
No, I think this makes a lot of sense and easier for you. And I'm just curious if we would also, like, is there an opportunity for these teams to see the aggregated information? Like, for example, if I would want to share something else that might be relevant to Ashoka U, or is there an opportunity in that way?
Yes, totally. It all gets channeled to one central back-end document, and that's the beauty of it because everybody will have access to this document.
Okay.
So that's, yeah, I mean, I can jump into the back-end now. But are there any other questions about the survey itself before we do the back-end?
Yeah, and just to add to Elizabeth's point, this is not a tool just for Ashoka Global. This is a tool that we're hoping to be multi-purpose and for your team to also own and for it to be as useful for you as possible. So at Ashoka U, you might be taking requests from your own partners or the people that you're engaging. You might also want your staff to have a little bit more of a streamlined process where they're putting in requests. You yourself might also want an easy management system for your social media channel. And in that sense, you can actually yourself submit into this form and put in a note for yourself. Okay, this message is going to be expiring in 2 weeks, but I'll have it in my system, and we'll show you the back end really quickly. And so you could use it for that purpose as well. Additionally, if you're looking for content for your social media stream, you can go into the back end and see, oh, Ashoka Belgium had a request from Accenture around social entrepreneurship. Ashoka U is thinking about social entrepreneurship just recently. Why don't we pick this up and share this to them? Or Changemakers is running a course on social entrepreneurship, or whatever might be relevant to you. This will be a pot of content that will be available to your needs, where you can feed whatever content is relevant to you, while also adding value to the other partners that, say, Ashoka Changemakers course partners, or Ashoka Belgium's Accenture partners who are looking for reach from. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it's a very cool system, and it allows you to add value in a variety of ways. So then I guess the next step would be showing you guys the back end. So
I have something to tell.
Yep.
So the only issue is the language for us, because most of Koreans also can read and speak English, but we prefer to translate all of the global materials into Korean.
Yeah.
Whenever Ashoka Global posted something, if it is very urgent and very important information, we always translate and share with Korean audience.
Yeah.
So I think it might be very useful to know beforehand that what's going on. Then we can pick the contents and just publish or share immediately in a very time. Yeah. So I think it might be very useful.
Yeah. Honey, I'd love for us to explore this further for Korean, because this whole web app, this Form Plus, is actually a developer created form, which contains the option to insert images, but it's really an iteration from the Google form, and Google has Google Translate and supports several different global languages. So I'm curious if we can actually have the option to include Korean in addition to Spanish or French, in context of Google being able to support these various languages. So maybe we can. I know it's a different, a different set of characters, but maybe we can see would we be able to support that within one spreadsheet?
Yeah, but I don't know, because I also have an experience using Google Translation, but it's not very correct.
Okay.
So I don't know how I can explore and use
Yeah.
it.
No, I mean it in terms of, if not Google Translate, but if you, for example, if you can still see my screen, if you are on the what section and somebody's sending in a request for Korean, if they could submit a Korean request, and that would actually go into the back end, and it might be available for you. So we have actually a filtering system, which Elizabeth will be sharing a little bit more about, where people can filter out certain languages. So they may not need to see all the Korean that we have in the system.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean in terms of exploring it.
Okay.
So it is possible for people to submit posts through this form in other languages, and then for you to be able to access the ones that are specific to your language that your social media is in. But then the other thing too is, if you are used to getting these posts in English and then translating them on site, then this is also perhaps a nice resource just to start with the content, just to have content that's current, and then it can be translated into Korean for your purposes as well from this backend, if that is something that you already are doing on your social media.
Yeah.
So maybe we set a really short, maybe a 30-minute session with you and test out how it would work with Korean.
Definitely.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, cool.
Fantastic. All right, so we're going to take you through the back end, and it's quite straightforward. As you can see, there's a column for every single answer that you gave in the form itself, and it all, like I said, it all goes to this one central form. So whichever social media manager that we give this access to will have the ability to view all of the responses for all of the teams. So we've kind of condensed managing this backend down to 4 simple steps, so that's what I'm going to go through now. So the first step is obviously just finding the posts that are relevant for your team. And you can see in the first column, the yellow column, that's where it denotes which team these posts are catered towards. So
if I could add one little thing, what I did at the very beginning is actually really critical, which is I selected the top row, and then went to the filter option where I'm pointing my mouse, and I turned on the filter. And then, yeah, go ahead.
Right, so the filtering tool is actually really fantastic because you can use that to just pull all of the posts that are relevant for your team. So that's what Sega's doing now on her screen, is she's creating a filter. And what she can do now, for example, is pull all of the posts that are only for the Ashoka Global team's interests. And then what it'll do is it will, so what she's doing is Ashoka Global. And you can do this for whatever, for any team, obviously. Such as change makers. And so then what happens is when you click OK, it will get rid of all of the posts, or it will hide all of the posts that are not relevant to your team. And I mean, in the long term, as this form gets more cluttered, this will be really useful for quickly and efficiently finding the posts that are relevant to you. So that's how to use a filter. And then even after the filter is applied, you can then sort the form by whatever column you choose. We would recommend that you organize either by language, depending on where you're from. If you're using multiple languages in your social media, it's great to sort by language so you can find the posts that are relevant to your teams. But then you can also organize by column B, which is when the post needs to go up. Obviously, with social media, posts expire very quickly, and it's always great to know which ones are the most pressing ones to post.
Excuse me, just a question about relevance. The relevance is determined by the first column, correct? Column A?
Yes, exactly. This column, the first column is identifying which team the post was submitted for. So like in the form itself, you're saying, this post would be great for Ashoka Global, it would be great for, Ashoka France. But what's interesting actually is a lot of the Ashoka Global posts are usually relevant for most teams. So it is great to include the Ashoka Global ones in your filter as well, because it's very likely ones.
Is there any... somebody said something. I didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah, Sega, what did you say?
And the changemaker ones.
Oh, the changemaker ones too, yes.
I was going to say, is there any kind of keyword search?
Yeah, that's actually, the filter does sort of work that way. So the way that she applied the filter to the first column was, he was actually like, she typed in like Ashoka Global and Ashoka Changemakers. Now remember, this first column is determined by a question that's in the style of like a checkbox list.
Yes,
so
right.
Give you the option before teams are available, and then you just choose from our list. And remember, that list is also determined by which teams have jumped on board to this form. So that list will grow longer as other teams incorporate this form into their system. At the moment, we just have Ashoka Global, Ashoka Changemakers, and Ashoka Spain, which is why that's all you see on the screen. But as this, as this kind of spreads to other offices, oh, go ahead, Zika.
No. Go ahead. Finish.
As this spreads to other offices, that filtering will become a lot more important to pull the unique content for your region.
And just in terms of keyword search, so when I do Control F on my keyboard, I'm able to pull up a keyword search. That's just a Google form option. And so if you have, a specific topic area you're interested in, you could search for empathy, you could search for technology, and it will pull up, it will highlight in green the relevant content that you might be looking for.
Yeah, so...
But Tori, were you suggesting or were you thinking of other kinds of keyword searches?
No, I mean, so I guess what I would be interested in doing is searching all groups for ideas as opposed to seeing what, seeing what a particular group had done in social media, to just see overall for all the Ashoka groups, where has the concept of education come up? And, I mean, that's the sort of thing I would be interested in. But I think this will do it. You just check all the groups, and then you put in the keyword, and you're there.
Yeah, and another thing that might be also interesting is the relevant hashtags, because like usually our different comms teams are thinking about how they can expand their reach over social media using specific hashtags that other people are convened around. So for the events, for the topics that are relevant to technology, for example, we have, this one is not really, this is not the right entry, but it would be like start empathy. I think this was entered wrong. But so you might be able to also sort and manage through the hashtags. And actually, one of the things we were considering was including a drop-down option for hashtag requests, because maybe the person who's requested may not be aware of hashtags. But hashtags are topic area niche conversations that are happening online.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, we're very interested in iterating this approach, so I think that's really valuable input. Thank you, Tori.
Mm-hmm. So all of this content is a fantastic resource to have at your fingertips, but it's useless until you actually post it. So obviously the next step would be, once you find the content that's relevant to your channels or that you're interested in sharing, you post it on whatever social media feeds you manage. So, and also if you look at column G, it does say what platform these particular posts were set up for. So it'll say like Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+, but obviously that's up to your discretion as the social media manager to decide where it goes. So you can go ahead and schedule your posts, and obviously we're looking for your discretion on what to post to your audiences and how to craft the post in the most appealing and impactful way. If you're managing multiple social media channels on your end, we do recommend that you use like TweetDeck or Hootsuite. And we also, in case you don't already know about it, we do have this Google Doc called the Do's and Don'ts of Good Content. And this is just some general tips for curating content in social media. Obviously, the most common mistake in writing tweets is that you never want to put like an @ sign at the beginning of a tweet. And so it has some great examples, and it's a really valuable resource. So I just wanted to make sure that anybody who didn't know about this had access to it.
Yeah, and if I could jump in to point out the most important thing to do when you're crafting a tweet, it's to lead by teasing the core value add or takeaway. So why should a reader keep reading on? So it's like a headline, it's like a billboard, and so if you're looking at some of our do's and don'ts, this would be a really great headline, because it has statistics that are eye-catching. And this other one would be like tips for managing conflict and telling the truth, 7 steps to empathetic communication. This is an Ashokan lesson, but it's also really relevant. It adds value to somebody's day, how they can improve their own communication styles. And then a don't would be a tweet like this, which would be, including, it's not really clear what you're talking about, who Mike Fernick is. I mean, there are tags of accounts, but for somebody who's driving by, say, and looking at a billboard, would this be something that will draw them in the same way as this tweet as well? So definitely look into this do's and don'ts. There are some really good tangible examples of and reasons, actually, of highlighted sections for why you should go about creating tweets in this way. And we're actually looking to you, the people who do communications, to look at the content that comes in through here and to exercise your discretion, because sometimes the way this is crafted and that it's submitted is actually not ideal for our audience. So, for example, we can say, looking forward to the third Compassion in SOS event in SF this date, get inspired by this video. There might be a much more compelling way to present this by saying, what's the role of compassion in society today? Find out San Francisco, November something. So, it might be, we're asking actually you to really think very much about your audience and how you're helping and adding value to them as you're taking these requests and adapting them to your channels.
Mm-hmm. Great. So I'll just so once you've actually gone through all of the steps of getting the social media posts ready and distributing them on your channels, there's one last thing that we ask that you do. The pink column, column E, has the expiration date for every single post. And you can sort by this column, but it's also great to check once you've posted. Oh, actually, I missed a step. On the far right of this table, there's a column there, this green column, column T. Once you have posted any of these things to your social media channels, we ask that you add your @ handle here. And this is just kind of like checking that these are the channels that this post has already been shared on. So you can see a lot of these posts have been shared on Changemakers or Ashoka already. So then once you've done that, then you should go and check the expiration date column, so column E, the pink column. And this tells you when the posts are no longer relevant. So if post has been posted and it has expired as well, we ask that you highlight the row and move it to the Archive tab, which is a separate page that can be accessed looking at the bottom of the screen where it says Archive. Our posts that are no longer relevant moved here. And this ends up being a great resource to look at how conversations have developed over time and to find specific content that was used in the past for like doing those kind of keyword searches like we talked about. It's all saved here, so nothing gets lost.
So just to understand, so the person who's made the request should also take the responsibility of taking the expired post and moving it to archive?
Not necessarily the person who made the request, just whoever's managing the back end. The form itself will be available to anybody, Ashoka staff, Ashoka fellows, Ashoka partners, but the back end, the spreadsheet, this is solely the responsibility of whoever's managing the social media for a specific Ashoka team or staff. So like,
oh, I see. So it's the manager of the social media for the team.
Right.
Who does that?
So like,
okay.
You guys could submit a request, but Sega and I would be the ones managing the back end for like Ashoka Global right now. So we're taking care of this as we're posting these things to the social media channels that we have access to and that we manage.
And we're asking, say, so last time we had a conversation with Ashoka Spain, and she was really excited about using this for her own needs. And so we've added her on the form. People can make a request to Ashoka Spain, and she'd be able to go in to this backend and manage it. At the same time, we do realize the utility of this bank of content for other purposes outside of the requests coming straight to, say, Ashoka Spain. So if there are those kind of unique needs, we can grant access to other people who may not be managing and needing to filter and help us manage the back end. So say helping us archive these posts, but would be able to use the knowledge and materials gathered here.
Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly. So at that point, once these posts are archived, whoever's managing it, their job is done. All that we ask is that if you did use any filters or if you did sort the form, that you kind of be kind and rewind. So turn off any filters that you used and leave it the way that you found it. And other than that, those are the 4 steps. That's how you use this.
And the be kind rewind is like super easy. You just press the turn off filter. That's it. So just, I don't know, for those not in the US, you may not understand this reference, but back when there were video video stores where you can rent out a video and watch it at your home and then return it. One of the requests would be, rewind the video cassette before you return it. So what we're asking you to do here is rewind the form so that, say if Ashoka Spain comes in here and is not looking for Ashoka Global or Changemakers content, or she doesn't want the content sorted by date, or she's just looking for French content or something like that, just turn off the filter so that she'll find it just the way you found it when you walked in.
Right, exactly. Just reset it to the way that it was. Now I'd be curious to hear reactions to the back end and any questions that you have about managing the posts once they come in.
So social media team, you guys just post this content as we write down, right? You guys don't edit it.
Yeah, nobody's editing. The only thing that's actually, this is a really important point. One of our other team members who's a volunteer with us, Juliet, who will be conducting the next session, she pointed this out. The only thing somebody would be editing, actually, in terms of text, would be to add something onto the T column, which is if you posted it in Ashoka Korea, you do Ashoka Korea. But you don't edit anything else. All the editing, so the requests stay the same. All the editing, so if I want to post this on my account, and usually for the first option, we ask it's 140 characters. For the other ones, it could be longer for other channels, and this would be a variety. So if you copy and you want to use this, we actually ask you to edit it before you use it, because you know your audience best, and we want your audience to find value from it, as opposed to 20 messages that look the same that may not be crafted properly that came in through the system. So that's actually a really important point, that we would want editing 100% outside of the system before posting.
But there is a circumstance under which you would edit before it would go out, and that is if I check the box that says it's okay for you guys to edit it before, or rewrite it before it goes out, right?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we're asking. So we're asking for permission to edit for us to be able to post it. So say John Townsend at Changemakers is posting about this book. He will likely use, and rightfully so, a different message than what we would use at Ashoka Global. Even if we have the same purpose for it, and we're trying to engage our audience about this book, we want them to get different messages, and we want our social media channels to stay fresh, interesting, and engaging. So we don't want the same message posted over and over. So the editing we're asking our communication staff to do outside of the system, for sure. But we, in terms of being able to have bandwidth to edit each of these posts, unless it's like in really, really bad shape, that's not something that we would be doing.
Right, exactly.
So just for like a general picture, are you imagining this to replace, like, let's say we email you and be like, hey, can you post this tweet? Are you imagining this system to replace those kinds of emails?
Yes, for sure. And also for it to, like, I don't know if it would replace emails that go to like Global Communications and Media listserv. So there is that Global Communications and Media listserv. It might be great, ideally we will have everybody on that listserv having access to this back end, and we can direct them to, you could direct them to the list, the back end of this, to say, hey guys, I have a request about X, Y, and Z, about the exchange, and here there are 4 tweets options for you in the spreadsheet, and you could just easily access them. So we do a lot of emails over Global Communications and Media where we're attaching like a set of tweets or whatever, but this can easily kind of streamline that. And so for you as Ashoka U, putting in a request about the exchange, if you have an interest in, say, okay, I want 3 different types of messages to go out, you can include them here, and it would be a more streamlined way for you to share that.
Right. And not only does it make it more straightforward to sending these requests to whoever you usually deal with, but it also simultaneously makes those requests, those potential social media posts, available for other Ashoka teams that might be able to take advantage of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask. You have on somewhere on the form, sorry, that like where the name of the person who posted it. So like, let's say I wanted to contact someone, be like, hey, about regarding a post, or like if I have more questions.
Mm-hmm.
There's a way. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. So we're hoping they will follow the prompt. We put in here. I put my name and then email address. Please include your name and email address. So hopefully people will follow that.
Great.
So just to make sure, I would like to give an example. So Ashoka Korea, we're gonna announce our first winner of Changemaker competition under BI partnership next month.
Wow.
So when we announce our winners, so let's say I will write a request form to Global Changemakers team. Then Changemakers team will immediately pick up this announcement, and they will gonna post it to Facebook and Twitter and in other global platforms, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's the idea.
Yeah.
But we're also hoping that you would do the same.
Yeah, right. But the only problem is of course I can write this announcement in English, but all the links will be Korean.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that what would be great is in your tweet to say, in a parentheses or something, Korean, and you can notify the people that.
Yeah. Okay.
So then they get the news in the English language tweet or post, but then if they want to delve into it further and they can read Korean, or they're willing to use Google Translate or whatever to read the post, the article itself, then they can follow the link, if they want to.
Yeah, but I think it will be important to that people know that Ashoka Korea exists and they also have Changemakers winners.
That's right. Great. Congratulations to you guys. That's really exciting that you're activating your network in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And that's one of the things that's just really exciting about this kind of integrative approach is to do things like that,
Yeah, awesome.
So have we gotten you guys on board? Does this seem like something that you could integrate into your current social media strategies? Those of you that do manage any accounts for your teams or offices?
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is really easy.
It's this would actually this would be the way to do it. I mean, there's no you don't have people sort of doing this on their own, right? It would all be through this system, so that there'd be some consistency, and then you'd have the archive and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yes, exactly. That was our goal all along.
Right. Great.
We're also really open to constructive feedback. So I think Tori's suggestion around keywords is really intriguing. So we'll go and kind of explore how that could look like, and because I think that could add value in a different way, and maybe the hashtags is a way to do it. One of the things we were also emphasizing was really kind of who we're building relationship with, and so we're able to see that on our who section.
On whose behalf you submitted the post.
Right. So right. So this system being a way for us to look back at the kind of data we normally are not capturing around the relationships we're building, the topics we're exploring, and that kind of thing in a bit more systematic way than we've done in the past, where you know, we would sort of depend on our metrics that are focused on specific hashtags and kind of measuring the engagement around them and the relationship building around those hashtags. But this can help give us a bit more of a holistic global view of you know, what that looks like for our organization. And also, I actually, to be completely honest with you, like I submit requests into this form for the Ashoka Global account, and because, you know, typically I would have a team, so there would be Elizabeth, myself, in a time. So it's a way for us to keep on track and manage our own social media content by putting in these requests. So we don't forward each other emails of oh, say Ashoka Exchange is happening soon. Here's an email from Emily. Let me forward it to Elizabeth. But we put it into the system, so it's a way for us internally to manage as well.
Right, exactly. On the last call. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say on the last call. Sega, your coworker, was it Joey?
Yeah.
Was saying like how he's so used to getting just like long feeds of emails, you know, because you know he manages all these social media accounts. It's like post this, and you can kind of get just overwhelmed, I think, by that, and this puts it all in one organized, streamlined place, and it just, I think, kind of adding on to what you were just saying, it just makes it's so much more centralized and streamlined.
And the other thing also was this is a way for us to also have easy access to the content that's in our network. So there are these Scoop It pages that different country offices are starting to build where we're curating content. So, and you know, this being possibly a source for content for that kind of thing. So, you know, it might be that we're announcing that a book is coming out, or there's a web developer we're looking for to join our team. But it could also be that this Ashoka Fellow was featured in New York Times, or this empathy school is doing this in PBS or something like that. And so our content stream could be a little bit rich for us to curate it into anything else outside of social media that we might need as well.
Sega, I don't know if you can see it in the chat. So we have a question that we might have not heard because of that audio, but Mira would like to know how we track impact. Maybe we can speak to that. I mean, off the top of my head...
Expand a little bit on what she means by impact?
Oh, yeah. Mira, if your audio is not working and we can't hear you, can also type in the chat function or use the Q&A function. Can you specify what you mean by impact in terms of these kinds of social media posts?
Here, I'll Skype with her. I don't know if she's offline.
Oh, okay.
How did you get access to Mira?
She's not typing in this group chat. She's using a GChat on like my email.
Oh, okay.
So that popped up, which is how I saw her question. So I thought I would type it. So
okay. Well, thanks for doing that. Yeah. So in terms of impact, I think what we were just talking about in terms of the relationship building, the topic area focus that we're seeing, and hopefully the individual accounts that we're getting contents posted on, those are ways for us to track, you know, those are ways for us to track impact. So, for example, if we could, you know, this book, for example, is going out, we can see, oh, Ashoka Changemakers X, Y, and Z are doing this. If we do something else for Roman kind of down the line, we can, you know, sort for his name and be able to say, you know what, we're adding value for Roman in X, Y, and Z ways. Or Mara, who's the creator of the Who Cares movie, you know, we've done this for her this month, and then, you know, a few months down the road, we're also adding value to her in that way as well. But I mean, we're also kind of building this with you guys, so we're open to figuring out how it would be the best way to develop impact metrics for it.
Yeah, impact is probably related to the goals you've set ahead of time. Sort of like we're hoping to reach X number of people. We're hoping to have conversations go viral X number of times, you know, that kind of stuff. And that would help, I think. But there's also just you guys, because you know social media so well, you have a pretty instinctive, intuitive idea of impact. You know when something has really hit and is working. And, you know, just speaking for myself, it would be great to hear from you guys when something like that's happening, so that you can do a kind of analysis of, well, what made that work versus other things? What's going on here? So that some of that best practice can be then absorbed into future postings.
Yeah, and not even not just things going viral, but also the number of teams in Ashoka offices that are distributing these posts. You know, I think that one way that this is going to have direct impact is different Ashoka offices being parallels between the things that they're covering in other offices, and pulling content through this form from other offices, fellows, you know, requesters, that maybe it's information that they might not have gotten their hands on but otherwise. So, I mean, I think that's going to be just a great immediate impact as we get more teams on this.
I think, I mean, it might be worth us considering, do we want to include, say, like an impact column? And that would be something we would ask, you know, each of you guys also who are looking at your own feeds to make notes when there is impact.
So, like, Spain got like a really huge, like, just got lots and lots of feedback after putting up, you know, this particular post, and they should say so. Like, our channels, we got a huge response to this, you know, and
right. And I mean, I wonder if there's a more streamlined way of collecting that outside of asking for notes. But I do think it would be in this back end that we might be able to do that. I wonder if it's like a ranking system or, well, Mira, if you're interested in helping us explore how best to do that, that would be awesome.
Definitely, yeah.
But your thoughts, Tori, are well taken in terms of just setting the metrics ahead of time for global engagement across these country offices. Is Sachin still there? I'm really curious to hear his reaction.
No, actually, I think he is.
I don't think he is, yeah.
Okay.
Possibly.
Oh, Hang just joined us.
Yep, we have a new addition.
Hi, Hang. Where are you joining us from?
I'm an intern at the global office.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah, you're in Changemakers. Did we meet yesterday? No, maybe not.
No, I don't think so, but okay. I only work on Wednesdays and Thursdays, but happy to be here.
Okay, cool. So our action point from this really is, if you're a communications staff, we'd like your buy-in to add you into this forum as an option for you know, people to request social media posts from your channels, and for you to help us manage, including posting, you know, letting us know when you've posted, and archiving process. Would maybe each of you guys have a reaction for that? You're working on communications.
I see Emily is speaking, but I can't hear her.
No, I wasn't speaking. I was just expressing. Yeah, I mean, I think we'll definitely, Ashoki would definitely like to be a part of this. Yeah, I'm just thinking about the process, about how we want to potentially engage our partners and what that looks like with Changemaker campuses, and yeah.
Yeah, so that's a really good question. The next step really is rolling this out to say if you have fellows or partners, how do we roll this out? And we actually have some communications materials in terms of just
Templates.
yeah, so like, language you can include, like visual, that kind of thing that we can share as a next step for you.
We're definitely there the whole way with you, and have are more than willing to help you find the best way to roll it out to your own constituents. So
great. Yeah, because this really aligns with some strategic questions that we've had about our specific social media sort of, and what are we saying, and what do people, when they see what we're posting, what kind of message are we putting out as a whole? And so we're trying to engage bigger campuses more, but haven't found a great outlet.
Right.
To even coach them. I think what's interesting for us is what kind of content we just want them to share.
Totally.
And so I don't know if that's a part of the process. If we are sharing this with partners, specifically for campuses, one meeting with a campus organization isn't going to necessarily be relevant to our entire audience.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's my main concern with sharing this with partners, is how to make sure that we're sourcing relevant content versus just we're going to put everything here.
Yeah. I think it's important to also include a disclaimer when you share this as an option, and just say, we are adding value to our audience, and we'd love to, of course, when we can and when it adds value to our audience, bring this channel for you to use, but at the same time, we're going to exercise discretion. So Elizabeth and I can follow up with maybe some suggested materials for you guys to engage. Are you saying your main audience would be Changemaker schools to offer this to?
I think that's who we'd first.
Okay, cool.
Would be our campuses, yeah.
Okay, cool. Anybody else?
I kind of just had one other comment. I know that there are many communications teams, in Ashoka, other Ashoka teams and offices that maybe don't use their social media on a daily basis, like we do at the Ashoka Global office. And I just kind of wanted to point out that even if you're only checking this back-end form every couple of days or a couple of times a week, the posts don't go anywhere, and it still might be relevant content. So it kind of adds value no matter how often you use it. It's kind of just adaptable to your needs, I think.
Yeah, so if you don't want us to add you to the form to take requests, we can still add you to the back end, right?
Yeah, exactly. To just kind of go through the content that is being made available to everyone, pulling posts that are relevant to you.
Cool. I think we lost Honey. Alexis, are you still there?
Yes, I think she.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, I'm just on mute.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here.
All right. Well, so does anybody have any final comments or questions on this? Also, if there's anybody who's watching on the Google Plus.
Honey's here as well. So yeah, questions to questions to Honey and Alexis. Would you guys want to either be included in the back end or the front end to take requests, or to use the back end management system?
Yeah, I actually had just emailed you.
Okay.
I was listening to you guys talk, and I didn't want to interrupt, but I would actually really like to have Youth Venture included.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we really want to get sort of all the youth ventures under one umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually have a consultant right now that we're paying to do all of our social media.
Mm-hmm.
So we clearly have someone who can do the back end. I can just share the document with her, and she can pull material from there.
Okay.
We just need to start, pulling in more material that isn't just like me and a couple people on my staff trying to find things. So I would really like to be a part of this.
Cool. And also, just in the what is it? In the spirit of community, if you are looking for and adding content, go ahead and do that to the system, because like I do that generally for our system, so that we have rolling, valuable, useful content. So you can continue to engage your team on that. So if you would like to be added, please send us the Gmail account, Gmail address of the person that would like access to the backend, and we'll add Youth Venture to the form along with Ashoka U. And Honey, I think you're
I love to be part of it.
Okay, great. Would you like to take requests, or are you thinking of managing the backend?
I love to manage backend as well because I'm dealing with all of Ashoka Korea's communication by myself.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So maybe what would actually be a follow-up for you and us would be to set up a time to explore the option for Korean language requests.
Yeah.
So we can set that up.
This is very exciting, guys. It's
great to have you. Okay. Well, hopefully this is going to be a co-creative space for all of us to be a part of. So, now that you guys have agreed to help, further this system, we want you to feel that you're a part of it and you can help continue to build it. So, hopefully Mira will be around. We can talk to her about impact assessment and thinking about a little bit more about the metrics. And Tori, if you had additional thoughts around that.
No, I was just sure. I'll let you know. But I was just going to say it's great work. You really, it's wonderful. So I think that as it evolves, it'll get better and better. But it's starting out like right there. Very nice work.
Great. Thank you so much for the encouragement and for joining us. Actually, it's
sure.
Yeah.
So I guess just one final point. While the back end, we need to obviously know who is going to be managing that before we share that with you. The form itself is a public form, so you can do with that whatever you wish. It's a publicly accessible form, so you can start submitting content today if that's something that you want to do, in lieu of submitting emails to like the global office social media.
So just last point, could you share your Gmail addresses if you'd like us to give you access to the backend, and then we'll follow up individually with everybody else we have follow up with.
And you can do that via thanks. Yeah, there's like the chat feature here in Google Hangout that you can use.
Okay. Well, we went a little bit over, but I think we're ready to wrap, right, Elizabeth?
Yep, I'm going to stop the broadcast now. So thank you guys so much for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
This is great.
Bye-bye.
Awesome.
Bye.
Great to have you all in the team. Bye.
Bye.
All right, I'm going to stop the broadcast now. So yeah.
Okay.